Hi, my name is Eve. My project is designed to indigenous Rungus group. But who are these indigenous group? Why they need a trader square in their village? The vision behind of this project is to explore and use interior and architecture as a medium to strengthen their cultural and individual confidence, support their local economies, and to foster the ecological balance between their communities. In this big society, there are over millions of indigenous people spread over the world, and these indigenous communities often ignored by governments and corporations because of the rapid development and corporate greed. Most of the time, their main concern is the food enough for today? What about tomorrow? At the same time, they also want to preserve and pass their culture to the next generation. Nevertheless, these indigenous Rungus group in Malaysia having their own language, costumes, and architecture. The Rungus women is well known in their skillful handicraft, where men mostly are farmers and knowledgeable in building their longhouse with bamboo. Why am I telling this is because the indigenous Rungus group are facing two main concerns. Hormone like the strong sense of community bonds in longhouse, but the concern on young generation are losing interest in the traditional craft. Where the young concern on poverty because mostly of them are farmers and depends on tourism for source of income, facing hard time with no money, only eat rice with salt. To further clarify my research statement, the indigenous group holding the least household income among three ethnic groups, and within the indigenous group, Rungus is a higher recorded incidence of poverty with 58% in Sabah. This is because most of them are farmers living in rural areas and 6% are jobless. And its result to their monthly incomes are not higher than 600 in majority, where women took up to 60% of unemployed. In culture side, some of the Rungus people desire to work in town and gradually abandon the communal life of the longhouse for modern Malaysian society. The number are steadily dwindling along with the traditionals and culture. In poverty side, most of them are illiteracy and possess a low levels of confidence due to lack of communications and social interaction with outsiders. Despite they are sluggish on agriculture, rural farming is a short-term plantations in their main economic activities, but majority of them no allocations in the events of failures of crops and extra expenses, and no backup plan. And poor farmers rely on middlemen who often take advantage on them. These Rungus Trader Square are benefits from other Sabah ethnic groups and tourists, and non-profit charity organizations helps in financial and material assistance. The neighborhood Rungus villagers will merchandising their goods in the bazaar, generate mutual revenue. Why I choose Kudat is because Kudat is one of the last remaining place to find Rungus longhouse in Sabah. And in Kudat, I chose Kampung Tinago as my site because among the other villages, this village have better development. The site selection strategy I concern is the travel distance where all these nearest community can easily travel not longer than 20 minutes from Kampung Tinago. My intention is to having a remarkable trading center in Kampung Tinago as a link bridge between other villages and communities, encourage tourism, increase their income, at the same time prevent culture fades. Kampung Tinago is situated in a strategic geographic location, tranquil and serenity surrounding by mountains and hills with nice foggy landscape in the morning. My building will be constructed at the top with overview to the village at a glance. The site is surrounded by greenery, a main road access to my proposed building, and the residential house around. The strategic planning in this site, visitors and villagers enter from Jalan Tinago and park their car in parking lot, then enter from second entrance. For villagers who work by foot can just enter from main entrance. Besides that, I hope this building serves as a Rungus landmark in Kudat. Compared to the main town, the design is more commercialized with no identity. The overview of the longhouse atmosphere, from exterior to interiors and also the private area. Every morning, Golok will go to paddy fields, farmings, or river to catch fish. His wife will follow him to work or do household. In the noontime, he will take a nap or wander outside, look for the friends, and wife will continue to do craftwork and take care of kids. In the nighttime, they will gather and chit-chat with neighborhood about the happening today. Under the longhouse, Golok is resting. Other family members are also doing their own scope of work. Back to the first questions in the beginning. Several programs and solutions are proposed. Example like Golok. As a villager, he or other seniors like Hermons will teach a young generations in culture, learning room for the language, handicraft, music, instruments, and dancing. As in library, to reduce the illiteracy among the Rungus, communities are welcome to use. Those spoke many will donate from the public. And in the market, Golok and wife can get self-employed by selling the local food and beverage, vegetable, or workshop to earn extra income and stable job. This will indirectly confidence their social interactions. The use of farming system acts as a knowledge point to introduce to them to guarantee their harvesting as a backup plan. As in the self-sufficient, Golok can choose partially sell in the markets or corn consumption without true middlemen. Based on my observation, every strategy and the reason design behind is referring to their culture and habits. For number 7, there is a river built in this building. This is to bring back the ancestor spirit, serve as a landscape, at the same time function as an aquaponics system. Every morning, Golok working in existing paddy field and take the shift in afternoon. His wife will tidy up library or take care their plantation and ready to open store. She can exchange the shift with the Golok and go back to longhouse to continue her daily activities. In the nighttime, if they are interested, they can join in the dancing event with others. Golok or his wife take care their farming roads. If he is tired, he can rest underneath and follow by this staircase to ready up his bazaar store. For visitor or tourists, either from second or main entrance, they will check in with receptionists and follow the staircase to the second floor. Golok will be merchandising here, where visitor will enter bazaar by turning right, and a lookout point to overview the whole kampong in a glance, enjoy the shopping, and also could exit from this staircase if there is any event going on they want to join. Tourists who have checked in can have a break in their rooms and enter bazaar from security door, following the circulation floor and back to their room. This circulation floor design is to provide a sense of space, a taste of time, and materiality experiences from new vernacular to traditional vernacular time-space in the tunnel. There are two phases. New vernacular using new way of construction with bamboo, mixed use of modern material and furniture, where traditional vernaculars construct in giving more rural atmosphere back to the late 20th century. For the building facade, I ran a few tests with different combinations of design concept and arrangement, ends up choosing option 3 because ground floor mainly about cultural learning, so to put more colors, and second floor is accommodation, so to put a monotone of natural bamboo colors to harmonize with both. With my observations, I truly appreciate their unique culture and technique. The window treatment design is inspired by their handicraft work. This is exciting to me when I found out that I actually can involve them and emerge the men construction technique and women crafting skill combined into interior architecture elements and introduced to the public at a glance. In existing longhouse, the upper parts of room is remain all empty with no wall blockage, and split bamboo on the floorings was soft, spongy when walking. In fact, the air circulation freely through the walls, roof, and floors. I decided to use bamboo as main material because Kudat is famous for bamboo. I'm trying to tie back with their skill to create a sense of belonging in the new building. With the case study support, I used the construction technique in repeat to support along the tunnel roofing, playing with slightly different builds to give a different feelings in the interiors and also the architecture. The spacious relationship design in consideration. The cultural learning room is semi-open to public, so placing in between main and second entrance, but library need less distraction, so placing away from the traffic. A receptionist at the center giving a warm and great smile to answer the enquiries to the visitor and tourists as well as the villagers. He also keep an eye on every situation if happen. Beside that, whenever Golok wants to take a break, he can walk down from the Rungus building ornament staircase and rest underneath the mezzanine floor. During the Harvest Festival, Golok and his community will hold the event in the center, inviting tourists and villagers to share their joyfulness. Other than Harvest Festival, in their cultural practice, they will also dancing in the nighttime whenever there is a new guest stay overnight in their longhouse. Along the corridor, visitors can get better understanding on the Rungus culture when Golok teaching inside. Kids will be playing around in the center or library with the supervisions by parents who working in bazaar. Golok and other volunteers trying to trigger their interesting and teach them how important to sustain their culture. To reduce illiteracy, now the young generation got chances to gain more knowledge by reading. Here is also a place provided for them to do the homework. Tourists can have a glance on what's happening opposite when walking along the corridor and also experience the local village lifestyle. I adapt the existing constructions and material with mix of modern material to provide a new taste of time experience, and the air and natural light is freely through wall openings and roof. While enjoying shopping, the villagers and tourists can chill out in local point and overview to Kampung Tinago. This lively Rungus Bazaar welcomes existing and neighborhood villagers to merchandising their goods to local communities, tourists, and other ethnic groups. The tunnel design leads your feelings back to the traditional lifestyle and giving the sense of belonging back to the Rungus people, the natures, and their ancestors' spirit. And this mini food store provides a local taste for visitors to enjoy traditional food and beverage. Based on their cultural practice, they take a little break to shed underneath the Rungus house after the hard working. When above is lively and happening, under the bamboo floor, the activity is more quiet and river is flowing to embrace the nature. Around the event square, you can always share the view to the center no matter where you stand. The sustainable system I use aquaponic water pump from river to nozzle, and water drip down from top to bottom, continue dripping to bottom float tray from bamboo tubes. The use of bamboo is because using PVC and plastic is not considered sustainable, and it contains a substance called bamboo coon can give the plant a natural residence to pests and fungi infestation. My intention is to serve this as an education point to share the torch of grow their home garden to overcome their sluggishness in manual harvesting. Consider to their future development to generate adequate revenue to a sustainable living. The empty space behind are available for future expansion in near 1 to 5 years. This idea is also adapted to their cultural practice. If new family is added, the owner would extend the longhouse at one end. Last but not least, I'm enjoyed to design a humanist collective spaces for learning, enriching the lives of the Rungus indigenous group itself. Thank you.